यस
कितने लोग ज्वाइन किए?
5
ये कौन सा है? ये तो 600 वाला है। फाइव रखा हुआ है। इसका भी बना रहा है ना? जब तो ये नेक्स्ट सेशन में इसलिए मैंने वही फाइल रखा उसी में फोटो का
YouTube एक बार सर YouTube का लिंक ओपन कीजिए।
YouTube
हाँ
ये
क्या दिख रहा है YouTube पे?
YouTube कहाँ भेजा आपको?
लिंक भेजा है ना, आपको भेजती हूँ।
मैं WhatsApp कर रहा हूँ।
करते हैं।
नहीं सबको जा रहा है तो मुझे अपना
रिकॉर्डिंग करेगी।
ये जाना किधर? ये तुमको पेड जा रहा है?
काय?
मला याची चार्जेस आहे का?
आता अजून तर पहिल्यांदा आलंच नाहीये, कारण 1000 रुपीज पाहिजे, इंडियन 1000 रुपीज पाहिजे. हा तरच भेटेल फर्स्ट चेक. बाकी मला एव्हरी मंथ मध्ये काही ना काहीतरी ते भेटलेलं तर ते मिळून जर 1000 होऊन जाते. हा मॉनिटायझेशन झालंय. मी म्यूट है, उसमें म्यूट है क्या?
मैं हाँ वो पीसी बंद है, मैंने ज्वाइन किया है।
आपका वो इससे देखो ना कौन
ज्वाइन किया था, फिर ये 4 ऑप्शन में क्या करना है?
नमस्ते मैडम।
कोई बोल रहा है? हाँ प्रकाश एम करके उन्होंने नमस्ते मैडम।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
बहुत सारे माइक्रोफोन्स इधर है आपके फोन ले जाओ बस दूर दूर, या तो फिर आपके फोन
ये स्पीकर बंद किया, मुझे ईयरफोन एक्चुअली मेरा नीचे छूट गया, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा।
क्या वो भी और तो है? ओके वो कर रहे हैं।
अब नहीं आ रही है बस।
नहीं आया ना? ये क्या करना है? आपका जैसे सरस्वती वंदना बोलोगे आप तो ये लॉक इसको लॉक है अपना ओ बेटा बेटे वाला
अब नहीं आ रही है? नहीं नहीं आ रही है। कहाँ से जाएंगे?
लैपटॉप क्या माइक्रोफोन पकड़ लेगा?
लैपटॉप का मैंने बंद कर दिया है, अब वो ऑडियो कैप्चर नहीं करेगा।
आवाज
और
जा
ये
रहा है
तो
सर?
बेंच है।
ये इसका भी है ना, ये दोनों कैमरे का।
इधर का जा रहा है,
हाँ,
अपनी आवाज जाएगी ना इसमें से।
तो जिसको दूसरी जगह से आ रहा है।
आवाज है कि इसकी लग रही है।
मैं यहाँ से ऑडियो निकाल दूँगी, ठीक है? वो तो है, मैंने ऑडियो निकाल दी।
2020 एक सबका 2020 वाला है। हाँ, है सर, एक मिनट सर, आप
हाँ सर,
पहले वाले
यहाँ से हट जाएंगे।
एक बता ये स्कूल के अलावा जो का जो बैठी है, हाँ है सर, है वो है। हेलो मेंबरशिप वो डाल, एक बता सर, लिख हेलो मेंबरशिप of International Association of Awesome Knowledge, ठीक है, हो गया, चलेगा, ओके सर, चलेगा, थैंक यू, चलेगा, 2 बजे स्टार्ट कर देंगे सर, ठीक है, चलेगा, ओके सर, क्या है आवाज जाते बोलून तो पहिले शोधा कशात
इथं तर मी बंद करू,
त्यातून त्यांनी पण हे केलेलं आहे.
हे जरा कॅमेऱ्याचा बी घेतो.
नाही ना, पण तो गुगल मीट पकडला ना.
गूगल मीट काही पकडला तरी कॅमेरा घेतो. इस बात नहीं करेंगे अभी, चालू होने तक. अच्छे से हो जाए बस. जरूरत पड़ेगी
स्पीकर है
इसमें से आ रही है. हाँ निकल. त्याच्यातून होतं जे बोलेल ते तिथून चालत इथून सगळे बंद करू एक एक वस्तू येतं
ऊपर लावून दिलं सारी आवाज इको ज़्यादा हो रहा है
एक बार बोल के देखो ना बोलेगा गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन
इसमें बहुत क्लियर आ रहा है
हम एक बार बोलिए गुड आफ्टरनून
लिखने बोलो बैनर दिखना चाहिए बाकी कुछ भी दिखे
पक्षी वगैरे
हा पीसी मध्ये नसते का
या किसी एक्सप्रेस
नाही आवाज येतो कंटिन्युअस फक्त खाली आवाज येतो
पक्षाचा वगैरे
बाहेर
शेट्टी
शिट्टी वाजल्या
कच येतात ना नीरज सिंग नहीं आया
हां हा कसं कुठला आवाज
दोघांची
प्रिंसिपल सर आ गए
प्रिंसिपल सर नहीं आया
प्रिंसिपल सर को ज्वाइन होने दीजिए फिर स्टार्ट
चेयर पाहिजे
नहीं खाना खा रहे खाना खा के तुरंत ज्वाइन कर लेंगे आ जाएंगे 2 मिनट नहीं, अभी तो बताया हमको 2 बजे एग्जैक्ट। ठीक है, ज्वाइन कर रहा है। एक बार बता दीजिए ना, 2 मिनट में स्टार्ट कर रहे थे।
फिर मग बोलिए तो एक बार, तो पता चले कैसे बात है।
Good afternoon, everyone.
बोलिए क्या?
कसला होता ना?
मायक्रोफोन खूप सारे आहेत. एक बार फिर से सुनिए। सुनिए।
सुनो ना, फिर से एक बार ट्राई कीजिए।
Good afternoon, everyone.
ठीक है, ठीक है। शेयर पॉइंट।
Since our guest speakers have already arrived, we shall commence with the National E-Seminar. So, a very good afternoon to one and all. I, Svedal D'Souza, Assistant Professor in Botany, take this opportunity to welcome everyone gathered here virtually for this National E-Seminar on Changing Scenarios in Libraries and Librarianship, organized by SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Silva. Every good work should begin with the blessings of the Almighty. So before we start, let us invoke Goddess Saraswati and seek her blessings. Now, I would like to call upon the organizing secretary for today's National E-Seminar, Dr. Ruchi Simhangan, Head Librarian, SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science, who is also the winner of Best Women Librarian Award 2022 from Madras Library Association, Chennai, to briefly introduce to you today's program. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sudha. A very good afternoon to our respected guests and all the participants present here. I, Dr. Ruchi Sinha, Head Librarian, SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Kolkata, feel honored to welcome everyone gathered here virtual for this e-seminar on changing scenario in libraries and librarianship, conducted to mark the birth anniversary of Padma Shri Dr. S. R. Ranganathan, the father of library science. The e-seminar is organized by SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science. I would like to introduce to you today's topic briefly. As we all have observed, academic libraries are changing. Libraries are adding new digital resources and services while maintaining most of the old traditional resources and services. All these innovating changes are in response to changes in the learning and research environment and the behavior of library users. So we have all gathered here on this platform to enrich ourselves on the importance of new techniques and structures to ensure excellence in libraries and information science. Thank you. Over to you, Siddharth.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce to you the principal, Dr. Rajiv Singh Sir, SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Silvassa. Sir is specialized in the field of entrepreneurship development. Sir holds a PhD and has published many research papers nationally and internationally. Sir has published 12 books internationally. He has served our country as a Navy officer and later joined in the field of education. He has won the Best Principal Award in 2019 and was the winner of International Award of Excellence in Research in the year 2020. Also, the fellow member of International Association of Commerce and Management. I invite you, sir, to formally address this virtual gathering. Over to you, Principal Sir. Excuse me, Principal Sir, we can't hear you. Thank you so much, Principal Sir. Thank you so much for motivating us all. Now, I would like to introduce to you our first guest speaker for today's program. Our first guest speaker for the seminar is Dr. Sanjay Kataria sir from Bennett University. He is the university librarian in Greater Noida. With more than 2 decades of rich and fulfilling work experience, Dr. Kataria is presently working as University Librarian, Bennett University, Times Square, Greater Noida since 2016. Prior to Bennett University, he has also served at JP Institute of Information Technology, Noida, and Dhanasari University, Rajasthan. Dr. Kataria has contributed about 35 research papers in reputed journals, international conferences, and has also written and edited more than 10 books and conference proceedings. Dr. Kataria is on board several prestigious national and international journals as editor and member. He conceptualized the International Symposium on Emerging Trends and Technologies in Libraries, an international platform for sharing global best practices of librarianism. He is recipient of several international fellowships like Commonwealth Professional Fellowship in 2012 at Middlesex University, London, and awards like National Best Young Young Librarian Award 2009, Satkar Young Librarian Award in 2012, and recently University Librarian of the Year 2019 by Madhya Pradesh Library for his professional and scholarly contribution globally. Having such an excellent person with us is an honor. We welcome you, sir. We would like to ask you, sir, to commence the seminar and begin with the lecture. Over to you, Kataria, sir.
कटारिया सर का आवाज नहीं आ रहा यूट्यूब पर, हेडफोन लगाना पड़ेगा। फोन फोन नंबर सर का फोन नंबर है
किसका?
संजय कटारिया सर का।
संजय सर का नाम है।
हाँ, उनको मैसेज डालिए ना, हेडफोन लगाए।
उनका
मैसेज डालिए उनको, हेडफोन लगाए।
हेडफोन लगा। सब सुनो ना। यूट्यूब पर मुझे ना
जब मैं बोल रही हूँ ना, आप कोई धीरे बोलो, क्योंकि यहाँ हमारे पास
अभी सब म्यूट पे है। झगड़ा करेंगे कल वो भी पास से हो गया कर दिया हमने। जो हम लोग जनगणना की तैयारी कर लेते हैं। जनगणना कर लिया डाउनलोड।
learners because nowadays this COVID has given a lot of different kind of learnings. So answer is that if you look at if take this COVID period as an example, how suddenly we changed our teaching, we shifted our entire teaching, classroom, assessment, all kind of practical works, And libraries also, given a lot of support to teaching and research during these last 2 years in pandemic. Whether it's the classroom, whether it's the laboratory, whether it's the examination, everything is there was an online in this during COVID. And there was not only one way we are appreciating that kind of technology supporting teaching and learning, the kind of support libraries given to the fraternity during the pandemic. Another part, there is a big concern and questions on libraries, physical libraries. When last 2 years we supported teaching research without physical library, but there really need to have a bigger space, the library and the kind of physical books and all. Do we really need a librarian? A lot of concern was there, and but I'll come back on these issues, and we'll discuss about how we people involved kind of support and teaching in our university system, and how the library globally played a very important role in supporting teaching research and all. And sir, that I would like to tell you that the visibility of library is very much nowadays, and earlier it was, but nowadays library is part and parcel of teaching and research. Library is an integral part of an academic institutions. And if you talk about the status of librarian in institution, colleges, universities, or that librarians always considered as equivalent to the teachers, whether in school, whether in college, or that university system. Fortunately, my university is in self-finance institutions, self-financing universities. And again, happy to report that librarian at Vanity University, earlier it was a university librarian, but after, recognition of my involvement, teaching and research, recently I'm given a position as a professor and university librarian. And though I'm since very inception, I'm in a level 14, then going to professor. So I believe that good institution and there is a practice, they don't look at here and there. We are following the standard guideline of University Grant Commission. So librarian is very much part of the teaching rather than teaching. Next, then talking about R&D, this lab criteria 3 for NAC. I'll get back to you. I'll let you know how librarian at universities involved in enhancement of research activities. So we took different kind of initiatives at Bennett University, not only facilitating and providing access to knowledge resources, but we are also involved that promoting and supporting research activities. We took different kind of initiatives. If you look at the changing role of libraries and librarians, a lot of things has emerged, which is really that institution, other colleges can adopt this kind of practices. So with this opening remarks, let me come to let me share my screen and then I'll share. Ruchi, can you confirm whether my screen is visible or not?
Yes, sir, visible.
And this PPT is visible now?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
So let me introduce you the university first. The Bennett University is in a new established institution, established by Times of India, Times Groups, and it was started in 2016. Initially, we had 5 schools, different 5 schools: School of Music and Applied Sciences, School of Law, School of Management, Times School of Media, and School of Liberal Art. This is the library. Library is called Learning Source Center at Bennett University. Again, this is a concern from day one. I'm the founding librarian here. and also founding librarian of other institution earlier. I always prefer to give library as a learning resource center or information resource center, because if you look at the concept, or then if you look at the terminology library, there is this perception of the people with the traditional space along with some traditional resources, where the people used to come and refer the traditional kind of resources, and the this matters over. But if you talk about this changing scenario, the forms and format of learning resources has been changed over the period of time. So libraries is, this, if you look at a learning resource center, is a kind of center of learning. And learning is not only from the traditional resources, but learning can be from peer, can be from, find different online and offline resources, can have a different kind of skill set, skill training and all. So if I then, after looking all that, circumstances and situation and my involvement as a university librarian in more than 20 years, I found libraries more appropriate as a learning source center. Library, if you look at the learning resource center at Bennett University, we have 22,000 of print books and more than 3 lakhs e-resources, including 2 lakhs plus e-books. Here, the learning resource center is completely automated. We are using the Koha library management software, and we are completely integrated with RFID system. And there's a lot of other services which I'm going to share step by step. First and foremost, my observation is with these changing scenarios, changing libraries and librarianship, that physical space of library is really need to redesign. If you look at the concept of the libraries, earlier we used to say the library is kind of silent zone, serious reading. People used to come and just sit and read, and we are going back. But nowadays, I believe and found library is more towards kind of happening place, kind of collaborative learning place. So we really need to restructure, redesign a library space first and foremost with changing scenario. Nowadays, this having a different kind of expectation from the learning community. They require a kind of collaborative learning space where people group of people can sit together and can brainstorm. They kind of look forward kind of space where they can come and explore the different kind of medias and different kind of learning sources. So the collaborative, you look at that, this kind of hybrid libraries nowadays. Library traditional resources along with the modern and kind of equipments and technologies over there. And libraries not only that kind of collaborative, collaborative space or the happening place, but they also maintain the dignity, maintain the kind of concept like in a silence zone. There's some part of the library they used to put on a silence, serious reading, or quiet reading something. And user who are more concerned about the serious reading, they can go that place and silently they can read it over. Then maker spaces nowadays, that if you look at the now this university system where the technical education taking place, nowadays libraries placing the 3D printer. Mechanical departments, students or other students, they can come and can use the 3D printing services. They used to call a kind of maker space. So there are different kind of technology or the equipment can place in a particular place of the library, and where people used to come use those kind of tools and technology along with the material, and this kind of space is known as maker space. Maker space. Digital library, I hardly need to tell that this library or media library, where that kind of the particular place is dedicated, or sometimes a hybrid library, they're putting up, spreading across the library. There's hundreds of pieces together where user can come and explore their online resources or other kind of projects works. Nowadays, if you look at this COVID-19, there is a lot of facilities required. Nowadays, today we are sitting here at Noida, you are in Pune or some other part of the globe. People sitting and attending this kind of webinars and seminars. So this kind of facilities nowadays required within the library, where the user can come and can use that place for attending or kind of conducting the kind of programs. This is picture of Benedict University Library. We have a general reading section. We have group discussion rooms, common learning. Common learning kind nothing but kind of dedicated space for the student where they can come together. It's beyond kind of group readings and all. That's beyond providing a physical and virtual spaces for the student to facilitate them. They can think and they can take it further, kind of experiment and collaborative learnings. So these kind of things are taking place. And now let me talk about the smart library automation system. What is smart library automation system? Earlier we used to have a kind of partially automate the libraries so that we can search our books over there and just we can have a barcode or something. We can get issue of those books. And we can go and meet reference desk or the circulation desk, and people used to get the issue of books. But now scenario changed completely. Libraries, branded universities, it's implemented RFID security system. Look at the left side. This is equipment's digital attendance system. NAC is, when they're visiting NAC for accreditation, they're looking at the kind of mechanism, designed at the libraries for attendance system. Some people putting, biometrics. We are using the RFID system for the whole library attendance. So some people are using a face recognition system. And there is all both library. There is we are putting self checkout and self check-in system where the user hardly need a kind of interaction with the library staff. They can come to library anytime. They can select a book from the shelf and can borrow the books their own. And good thing is that we are not using or maintaining any kind of manual records over there. Whenever the students are borrowing the books, they are getting an alert SMS and email on their registered email ID like a ATM machine. And whenever they are returning a book, dropping in a Dropbox, they are again getting alert SMS and email from the server. So there is no manual mechanism at the Benedict University. We also have the mobile apps, and if you look at the mobile app, there is a different kind of features are integrated. This is not only kind of hyperlink kind of mechanism over here. We have a kind of dedicated mobile app where that not only can borrow the books, can find out the books, can search the books, but you can look at that in case there is an overdue fine. You can pay using UPI. You can look at the reading history, and you can know your library rules and regulations. Whatever the e-resources we have subscribed, that is also integrated here. And new arrival system, you can conduct in a kind of library surveys and other kind of mechanisms are there. So students are appreciating all these services very greatly. And what principal sir said, Dr. Rajiv sir said that libraries need to expand their scope and origin. That research support services, which is the most highly point from the neck point of view, 250. And there is a great goal of librarian to promote research and academic activity by facilitating, supporting different kind of services to the academic community at the university or the college system. We at Benedict University providing different kind of research support services. My colleague probably will discuss well in detail, but let me give you an overview about the research support services, what we are initiated at Benedict University. At Benedict University, we are not only just providing, facilitating the literature to the research scholar, but our intention to provide the research support services in such a way we can save the 6 months to 1 year of the PhD scholars. Library at Benedict University not only providing the services to the research scholar, but librarian is going in classroom where that they're providing and teaching research student across university in different disciplines, research skills, subject where that we are ensuring that all basic research our student PhD scholars are having all kind of basic research skills. So if you look at while designing, we have gone through different kind of top ranking institution globally, kind of services they design over there, and we are taking the cue from all these institutions. We have designed our own research support mechanism at Benedict University. This is there's a different steps, but look at that these steps. when research scholar getting registered at the Vanity University, we are interacting in like taking kind of orientation program. We are meeting each and everyone, and there is one set of research skills paper which I'm teaching at Vanity University, and these are the services, the research support we are facilitating, supporting from the library side, but same thing we are educating them in a classroom. So first and foremost, when the research scholar is registered with the Vanity University, we are interacting with them to understand their major research area. Then based on the research area, we are taking the broad research area along with some keywords, and we are extracting the different kind of research data published globally from different indexing Scopus and Web of Science or the databases, and we are telling them which are the good research paper in that domain based on their citation or that based on that impact factor of journal and all, and we are educating them, supporting them. This is the good research, which research publication where they should consult this publication in their research. Secondly, we are helping them how to do literature review, systematic literature review about the citation mechanism, citation style, citation indexing and all. And more, plagiarism is one of the major concern, major problem with the research scholars, especially young body research scholars. They're really hardly aware about the plagiarism and things, and there is a different kind of plagiarism. Unintentionally, they used to involve in a plagiarism. So we are telling them in every step of that what exactly is a plagiarism, how to avoid a plagiarism, and we are supporting and facilitate them the alternative software where they can scan their manuscript. And after that, we are also helping them to publish the research impactfully, how to find out the relevant journal, publish the initiated journal finders, and how to select a journal using journal finders, and where to publish. And we are not only telling them that about journal finders and all, but telling them about all research metrics, whether it's journal level metrics or the article level metrics, author level metrics and all, and also telling them how to enhance the research visibility. What talking about Dr. Rajiv, talking about research visibility, and there is some mechanisms, some tools are available. So we are telling them how they can promote the research. And again, we also designed a subject guide where that we are mapping that faculty profiles with the library resources, because one faculty member, there is major two concern. One is the teaching, another is the research. When they are going to start the kind of what is the research areas, then accordingly we are mapping the resources from the library side, and the teaching, what are the subject they are teaching, we are integrating the kind of resources available for their teachings. And we are also involved in the promoting education, open education resources. So you can look at here. This is the research skills curriculum which is teaching to research scholars here at the Vanity University. Look at the unit 1 is concerned about research, literature, search and literature search techniques and literature search studies. So we are in them the kind of how to strategy, how to design your strategy for the literature. What kind of literature, primary source of literature, secondary or tertiary, or other kind of field literature. How to design your search queries. How to find out literature using different kind of techniques, whether it's in simple search technique or the advanced search techniques and all. And then telling them the literature review, and along with that, in case they are going for literature review, they must use that reference management software like Mendeley, Zotero, Redmond. So we are promoting Mendeley at Bennett University. So this is quite free. This is free, and user can create an research scholar can create their personal library, and this can help them to write the research papers, and the citation can be managed automatically. Third unit is concerned about research ethics and academic integrity, where we are telling them kind of about research ethics and plagiarism, and we are also educating about the copyrights and creative commons licenses, type of the plagiarism, and specifically we are telling them the kind of university grant commission guideline related to plagiarism, And again, we are providing them the Turnitin access to the research scholar so that they can use their research manuscript before publishing. Next is the publishing cycle, talking about telling them different kind of publications, journals, papers, conference paper, review paper, working paper, white papers, and all, and selection of journals, impact factor of journal, copyright information, open access publishing, and fifth model is about talking about research visibility and other different kind of research metrics. And sixth module we have recently added, that is on research data management, which is very essential for the research scholars. So this is the research support framework what we have designed at Benedict University. As I told you, when they're going to start the registration here, first and foremost, we are telling them identification of the problem, research literature, hypothesis, design, and all. These 4P we designed. When the people going to start research, how to do research plans, and how to do research performs, publish, and preserve. And this is the library concern about the different research support services from the library side. So my student look at my the LinkedIn profile where my students are scholar. This is research scholar is not a very excellent research feedback about them and gotten support from the library. And this is the subject guide we have designed at the Bennett University. You can see here what we have done, that we have taken a faculty profile and we have mapped the research teaching areas and the research area with the library resources, so that they can save their time not to look at here and there and find out the literature from different sources. So library is helping them to find out the resources, and again the resource mapping with the curriculum and all. So this is the subject guide what we have designed here, and that if you look at the subject guide, this is a faculty profile. If you look at this hyperlink, this teaching area, research area. So we have extracted the different literature and linked here, so that faculty after class they are not required to look at different databases and different literature. The single click they can get a lot of recent literature or the information on the research area or the teaching area. So in that way we are saving their time and efforts. We also have implemented the single window search facility that say the federated search engine, or that and now many of institutions they have initiated discovery search engine, where that idea is just to integrate all the library resources subscribed from different publisher and integrate in one single window access. And this particular platform is not only providing the single window access of all resources, but also facilitating the access of remotely. So users, whether they're in campus or off campus or across the world and any part of the world, they can get access of all subscribed resources anytime from anywhere, provided they should have to have an internet connectivity. They will get content. This is the resources organized within this library, publisher-wise, subject-wise, and all. And they can also use them on a mobile app, getting access of all resources. I'm happily to inform that the usage of the electronic resources during this pandemic has increased more than 100% or 200% growth in the download and all. This is the library portal. Every library should have to have their own dynamic library portal, and where they to get information about library, the guidelines, rules and regulation, resources, services, and other facilities that should be available on this base, so the user can look at and can update themselves all the time. We are publishing library newsletters at University just to communicate among the fraternity, scholar and student. We are inviting a lot of articles, and students are publishing their book reviews in this newsletter, so that they are not only library is not only providing access to knowledge resources, but also helping them and promoting reading and writing skill of the end users. We are also maintaining research publication at Bennett University. We initiated research digital repository services (DRS), with all the Bennett publication published by faculty members, research scholars. whole publication we are maintaining through this repository services. And idea is just to maintain and preserve long-term access of the view publication, and single click the user can get access of all the resources. This is very new, but new to our Indian scholarly community, but this is very common in Western culture, Western university system. Research data management is very important nowadays, and we people are promoting, supporting research data management practice in our university system. Research data management is nothing but a kind of mechanism to manage the raw research data which is curated, generated, and collected during the research process. And this, without the research data, no research can be concluded. So that the research data nowadays, many publishers they have initiated the research data journals, and they we used to publish a research paper, research article, where I can also can publish the research data, and which will have a kind of equal impact and visibility of the research globally. And we are promoting at Kennedy University, I mean, scholar to use fixed data repository to maintain the research data. Information literacy that is very important because putting, curating, and organizing literature and other resources is very simple, but telling each and every student, scholars, and faculty kind of availability of the research, availability of the resources is very important, because without visibility and accessibility, there's no mean to have the kind of access. We are spending crore of rupees in a year, so it is very important for libraries and librarians uh, to measure that ROI, return on investment. So we have to ensure that each and every research resource, whatever is curated and compiled or that procured and subscribed by the library, should be utilized by the end user. So that we are conducting different kind of programs, and every year we used to do different library festival known as LibQuest, and I with the theme of connect, content, collaborate. Connect means connect to community with the content, and then collaborate with them to understand further their requirements, so that we can facilitate and provide them the required things. So we have conducted a lot of events and activity where the student faculty members are involved. Again, this December we are going to have a library uh, festival at Bennett University, where we used to keep involved all that all segment of the university, with the research scholar, student, PG student, UG student, the faculty member, non-faculty member. So we are organizing different kind of activity for the all that segment of the community, all part of the community, and there is a different kind of author workshops, and awareness program is taking place during this festival. So students, idea is just to bring the student close to library services, library resources, so then they can uh, aware themselves about the resources and the kind of facilities available. So these are the activity to play student appreciated a lot. So we got a good testimonial from the student in 11 newsletters, and time to time we are having different kind of activities. So idea is that there is a lot of things to do, but we need to adapt only those things where we can be provide and facilitate the users. We really need to educate themselves. We need to keep update themselves with the recent uh, uh, trends and changing taking place in globally. So we need to look at around. We need to understand. We need to train ourselves and have the same thing in our library based on our available resources and infrastructures. So this is learning, and I believe that there's many more things which can be said, but keeping with the availability of the time, I'm just stopping here. And I have another speaker, Dr. Neera Singh, probably he'll be speaking more. So thank you for your patience listening, and I'm available for any kind of queries and questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, the platform is now open for discussion. If you have any queries, you can ask Or you can even post your questions on the chat box. Um, Dr. Kataria sir, we have a question for you posted on your YouTube channel. May I read the question, sir? The question is, with advancements in library system, there is an increase in the requirements of infrastructure and budget. What are the cost reduction practices in library management?
Talking about post reduction, that means first and foremost we have to look at the our system requirement, okay, and kind of available resources. So allocation of that funds based on the requirement is very important. We have to look at both ways. Secondly, is that there is an I realize and having a kind of understanding. There's a lot of resources we use to subscribe, but that is underutilized. We need to keep observe and look at the utilization of the resources. There are resources which is underutilized that we should discontinue and find out the alternate resources. Okay, and then about the technology is helping us a lot. Like we implemented RFID at the Trinity University. This is one time investment about 30 to 40 lakhs rupees. But in last 6 years, there is no circulation counter, no issue with the physical, and so we are saving a lot of money. That way, we are not deputing. Otherwise, libraries working for 12 hours in a day. So at least 3 to 4 staff is required for circulating student and all. So we are saving a lot of cost in that way. So we have to look at where that we are spending money and how best we can accommodate, and we can take help of the technology and can utilize both ways. And more important for libraries, that more than 60 to 70% the collection is underutilized. And in case that some resources databases has been subscribed and not used, we should look at and we should replace that, with the good resources. This is the way we can look at.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. So we also have some questions on Google Meet chat box. The question is, what is the mechanism to improve citation for faculty's publication?
This is very good questions, and I must tell that there is a lot of platforms is available, and more important is visibility. Whenever we are to publish, first and foremost, when we should create an awareness among the scholarly community to publish their research in open access journals. Okay, gold publishing journals. That journals, or secondly that when we are publishing a research paper, if you look at the Western, there is culture. We tweet our day-to-day publications, information on Twitter and other social media. So when your research papers will have a more and more visibility and accessibility, you will get more citations. So we have to find where and means to promote our research publication on social media, as well as like in an institutional repository, we should put a research publication or institutional repository, and that should be available on the internet, and so that the publication will get indexed in the different search engines, and they can index, and the people can look at, and when people can look at it, they can use it, and when they use it, they cite it. This is the only way.
Okay, thank you, sir. I would like to ask the participants if they have any more questions.
Sir, one more query from Somnath Goswami. Maker space is best practice. Sir, can you provide more information about it? He asked. Yes, sir.
For the book stack area, where people used to take books and sitting and reading and all. But nowadays, that culture and environment has been changed, as I said, that forms and format of library changed. Nowadays, library is more towards hybrid library. Okay, number one thing. And library space should be organized so that library is no more the silent space now. Library is a kind of happy place where people can go with the peer group and can collaborate, can read, can discuss, can do some kind of collaborative activities over there. Therefore, we should have to look at the kind of available of space and how best we can reorganize the space and can categorize the space in form of the collaborative reading area, some kind of series reading area, some kind of training zones, and there's many kind of training rooms and meeting rooms and there it will depend that in the requirement of the organization accordingly we can create any kind of space.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so much, sir. कोई होगी इसके बाद
Shweta Murthy, please move your mic, please. Shweta. Mute your mic, please, Shweta. Yes.
Uh, Sorry for the technical error. If anyone has any further questions, you can ask, or we can move to the next part of the session. I think there are no more queries, so we can move to the next part of our session. So for the next part of the session, we have our next speaker, Dr. Neeraj Kumar Singh, Deputy Librarian in AC Joshi Library, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Dr. Neeraj Kumar Singh joined Punjab University in 2007 and is presently working as Deputy Librarian in AC Joshi Library, Punjab University, Chandigarh. He has obtained a master's degree in chemistry, a master's degree in library and information science, and also holds a PhD degree from Punjab University, Chandigarh. He has been awarded the prestigious Commonwealth Professional Fellowship in 2017 and in 2012 at University of East London, London, UK. He has completed successful international course on ICT from University of East London, London, recognized by the British Computer Society, London, UK. He has also been invited by University of California, Santa Cruz, USA to present paper in international conference on internal and innovative pedagogies. He has been awarded University Librarian of the Year Award in 2001 by NTLA. He has designed various chemistry courses for which he has been awarded with various prestigious service awards. Also, he has prepared and presented a module on reference management software in online MLOCS course. Also, he has more than 40 research papers in international and national peer-reviewed journals and conferences and authored one book. He has been member of the editorial board of the prestigious peer-reviewed journal like Integrated Medicine Case Reports, Library Days, International Journal of Information Studies and Libraries, and associated as a reviewer in various national and international journals. No. Dr. Singh is University Coordinator of URKUND Anti-Plagiarism Software as well. He is also teaching BLIS, MLIS and PGDLAN courses at USOL, Punjab University and IGNOU, Regional Center at Punjab University, Chandigarh. Due to his expertise and knowledge, he has acted as resource person in various national FDP workshop conferences, training programs organized by various institutes and of national and international repute. Having such an excellent person with us is definitely an honor. We welcome you, sir. Yes, sir, definitely, sir. Sir, I would like to ask you to commence the seminar. Begin with your lecture. Over to you, sir.
Much as visible as other faculty member and some academic staff. So my submission is that, sir, this was the scenario some years or few years before. But if you see now the libraries, they are contributing a lot, not only in the library, but in the universities also. And one of the reason is the libraries, they are always more concentrating on providing various services through its collections or through various sources manually. Now with the emergence of IT, now majority of the services and the collections, now we are providing through with the help of IT. Now the libraries, they treat themselves from these routine services, and now they are coming in front where they can not only support the library but they can also assist the university in terms of achieving their aims and objectives. So yes, you are right in the sense that it is also up to the librarians how they are changing their roles, specifically in the academic environment, because there are many areas which has emerged recently where the librarians, they can contribute directly. I'm also talking about some of the areas where we are also seeing that there is a change in librarianship, and now we have to develop certain skills, not only at the personal level, but also from the professional level also, so that we can satisfy the increasing demand of the user, specifically in this digital age. And there is one very basic question or a routine question which even I am facing sometime from the higher authorities is, when everything is available on Google, what is the importance of libraries? So it is totally up to the librarian how they justify their roles and responsibility, how they justify the importance of the library in this digital era. So Dr. Sanjay has already given you a brief overview about the various services which we have witnessed in the coming years or which we have witnessed during some years in the libraries where we are taking the help of various ICT technology in terms of providing various services. So I'm not sharing any PPT with all of you. I'm just giving my thoughts on some of the important services which academic libraries they have implemented or they are the services they are providing to their teaching and research community. And I will give you a brief overview about these services so that you can also think about these services and you can also plan how we can start these services at your level. So always when we're talking about the academic library scenario, there is a big difference between the college library and the university library. Because in the college libraries, they have a very limited resources and the infrastructure, and they have to serve mostly the undergraduate and postgraduate student. But in the university system, we have to cater different types of readers in our system. It sometimes we have to provide services to our postgraduate student, to some university undergraduate student. But majority, if you see, the services are basically focused on the faculty member and the research scholar. So library is also a place which can help the university or the teaching community directly or indirectly in terms of providing various support services which basically helps faculty member and the research scholar in terms of teaching and learning. So one of the important services which I think every academic library they must start, it's called discovery services. Actually what is happening that with this digital technology, now majority of libraries they are spending huge amount of money in terms of subscription of various resources. If I can share Punjab University example, we have budget of approximately 6 crore rupees. So we have subscription of almost all the major publishers' database. But what is happening? The libraries they are providing links to each and every database. So for some time for the user, it is very difficult to browse and search each and every individual resources. And at the same time, what is happening? Suppose I'm a research scholar from social sciences, and I have used the JSTOR database for searching the article for my literature review. So generally, there is a perception among the researcher that JSTOR is the only database or it is the best database to search the scholarly content in social sciences. So what is happening? The research scholars, they are not exploring some other databases. In case they explore some other databases, so it is very less chances that they are exploring each and every databases which you are subscribing for your university. So if the library, they can develop a system where while entering the keyword into that particular portal, it retrieves the information from all your subscribed databases as well as the information available in the public domain. So it will be a single point access to your user where they can access the scholarly content subscribed by your university, by your library, as well as the open access content which is available in the public domain. So it will not only fulfill their information requirement, but at the same time, it will also justify the return on investment which we are spending in terms of subscribing various other area which is very very important for the librarian is help faculty member in terms of developing teaching learning content. Now, as per the UGC guidelines, as per the AICTE guidelines, now it is mandatory for any academic institution to provide 40% of their courses from their syllabus through online media. Now, majority of faculty members, now they are in the process of developing e-content related to their subject. So again, when we talk about the developing the e-content, we all know that it should follow the four quadrant approach. And the second quadrant is basically we can, or you can say, it is about providing the OER content to the teaching community. So OER is the area where the librarians they can develop their expertise and they can help their teaching faculty members that these are the resources which you can incorporate while developing the online teaching learning content. Because what is happening is when you are developing any e-content, so their guidelines is almost the same like publishing your research paper. So in the research paper publications, you are free to use certain portion of your content for the academic purpose. But when it comes to taking the content from already published sources while developing the e-content, the publishers they have different copyright policies, right? So that is why UNESCO and various funding and government organizations they are promoting universities and academic institutions to include majority of open educational resources while providing teaching learning content. So this is again area where the librarians they can directly help the teaching faculty members, or how they can help is they can take the syllabus from the faculty members who are involved in developing their teaching learning content, and they can find out the different OER content available in different OER repositories, and they can share the link, they can share the full text with their faculty member, and the faculty member they can prepare the content. Now, another area which is very, very important, which is very, very relevant, which we have also witnessed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, before COVID-19 pandemic also, libraries they are providing remote access to the scholarly content which they are subscribing. But during the lockdown, when almost all the academic institutions throughout the world they are closed, at that time this service was one of the most important services for our faculty and the research scholars. So now, realizing the benefit of remote access during this lockdown, the university or colleges they can also plan for this remote access facility. Even InfluNet is giving you a facility where, without spending a money, to have apps, to have. Yeah, excuse me, I will request one of the participants. So the InfluNet, they have also developed a platform which is called Chevrolet, and if any institutions you are interested, you can contact them. And this service is very very important for the faculty member. Now another area where you can help or where you can do a lot of work is your IQSC department. Now for any academic institution, it is basically a challenging for them to uplift their ranking as far as national or international ranking is concerned. And if you read the methodology of any ranking agencies, more than 50% of weightage they are giving for research publications and citations. Now, in my university, I have dedicated one staff specifically to provide all sort of business related data to the IQAC. Because for IQAC people also, it is sometimes very, very difficult to get the overall publications, citations, and all other information which fall under the category of research and publication. So, if libraries is helping the IQAC team, in another way, we are basically helping our university. Because if your university is scoring good marks in this particular category, overall it reflects the ranking and perception of your university. So this is another area. I think most of the libraries they are now directly providing the data to their IQAC team. But if we can also develop certain specialization or certain skills related to some other areas where we can help the IQAC team, definitely it is going to benefit our university, and it will also reflect, the visibility of the library in the university system. Now, another area which Dr. Sanjay has already discussed with you is regarding library space management. Now, talking about the library space management, and if you closely observe the reading pattern of your user, why your user they are coming for the library. Now you will find that majority of users they are not coming to your library to read the books or online journals because you are already providing these forms of collection through digital medium. Now they can sit anywhere in the campus or outside the campus, and they can access the e-resources, whether it includes online journals, online databases, ebook, or accessing it. But the main reason they are coming to the library because in the library they are getting the environment where they can sit for long hours and they can use this library for their teaching and research purpose. So now when libraries they are shifting more from print to online resources, so we can always plan or we can always think about how we can provide more and more space to our user where their purpose is not to sit and read but also for developing different type of skills amongst the users, right? There are different zones you can create in your library, like Dr. Sanjay has said that they are providing various discussing room facility, and many universities they have also started similar type of services. But apart from providing these spaces for various learning activities, what we can do also, we can appoint a librarian or library staff where he can teach the research skills which are required for doing research for any research scholars. Right? We can directly involve ourselves as far as teaching research ethics is concerned, as far as teaching plagiarism is concerned. Whenever you are getting any opportunity, always try to help the research scholar, not only in terms of building the understanding about these concepts. But if you will train them about how to use Mendeley, how to use Andronomy, there are many things which you can teach to the research scholar. That is going to benefit the research scholar directly. And when they discuss amongst their friends and their circle, then they will do marketing on behalf of your library. They can tell the research scholar, they can tell the faculty member that these are the things which I have learned from the library staff. And this is how we can also, create the visibility not only amongst the student but within that particular university also. Now talking about another area where the library services needs re-engineering, that is called research support services. Now earlier the libraries they are considered as an information provider. Now basically our role was to acquire, process and disseminate the information sources. But now with this digital technology, now the users they are so smart, they know how to access these information. No doubt we are also providing information literacy session to all these research scholars where we are teaching them or where we are making them educate about what are different resources we are subscribing in library and how these resources they are going to benefit you in terms of you doing your research. But based on these products and services which we are subscribing in library, we can provide n number of research support services. Now, one of the questions which participant has asked to the presentation is how we can increase the citation of the faculty member. So this is again area where we can directly help our research scholar and the faculty member. This is called the area of research visibility. Now, what is happening? The faculty members in the research scholar, they are publishing good number of research papers in various Scopus or SCI index journals. But what is happening even after publishing your research, the faculty and the research scholars, they are not getting citation for their publications. And it has also been confirmed from the many studies that 50% of the articles published in SCI or Scopus index journal, they never received any citation. So now we have to educate our faculty member and the research scholar. We have to make them aware about the concept of research visibility, where we can teach them what are the different versions of research paper, what are the different copyright policies of publishers, how you can check the copyright policies of the publishers, and depending upon the copyright policy, how you can promote or make your research visible to the academic community. Even after publishing your research paper with any commercial publisher, there are n number of provisions through which you can make your research visible. So once your faculty and research scholar is making effort in terms of making their research visible to the academic community, definitely you will start receiving the download. And once the people, they will start downloading your article, and if you have done the quality work, definitely they are going to cite you. So this is an area where we have to teach our faculty and the research scholar about the concept of research visibility. Now, another area which Dr. Sanjay has briefly discussed with you is about making your research data visible to the academic community. Now, in colleges, this is again, I can say, the area where it will take lots of time to introduce or to implement. But in the university system, what is happening? Like many university teachers and the professors, they are getting funds from various funding agencies. And if you read the policies of different funding agencies, one of their mandatory policy is to publish your research in an open access platform, and at the same time you have to make your research data visible to the public through various data repositories. Now, unfortunately, what is happening specifically in Indian scenario is all the funding agencies, they have not made it mandatory. But if you read the research excellence framework of UK or some other developed country, there it is a mandatory that they have to make their research data visible to the academic community. Some of the journals, like for example, PLOS One and some other journals also, they have started a practice where until unless you are not uploading your research data, they are not going to publish your research paper because there are many cases of data fabrication, falsification. Now the editor and the reviewer, they also want to validate your research finding. So how they will validate or authenticate your research finding? When you will upload your research data as a proof of evidence. So again, this is the area where the library science people, they can lead from the front. Now earlier also we have introduced the concept of institutional repository, where our objective was to make institutional publication visible to the academic community. Now this is a one step forward where our focus is not to make the research publications accessible in full text media. We want that the data, it should be visible. So there are many data repositories are available. If your institution, you are having a good technical expertise, you can develop your own platform also. And if we can promote our researcher and the faculty member, that during the your research life cycle, if you are continuously updating and uploading your research data, that is going to benefit the academic community. So this is another area. Now another area which is very very important and which I'm also doing in Punjab. Like every department they are having, even Dr. Sanjay is also teaching to their research scholars, that in the pre-PhD coursework as recommended by the UGC, it is mandatory that the faculty member, they must aware their student about the concept of research ethics, plagiarism, reference management, research paper writing, literature search. And I can tell you, no faculty member in your university can teach better than the librarian about these topics, about these areas. So if we can develop a skill where we can organize a training program in the library, and or you can go to the different department you can build a collaboration with your department. That whenever it comes to teaching these topics, you take the help of library. Definitely, it is going to benefit the research scholar because we are the best person to teach about these areas. Now, another area which we can always think, or the librarians they can always plan is building a good collection development policy. Now, one of the participants has asked very good question, very relevant question I can say is that sometimes many universities they are also facing the budget constraint, and even whenever we are submitting the additional budget requirement for our university, they are asking what are the additional requirement you are demanding from the university, and from where the university can reduce the budget from the library. Now this is again a very I can say an area where the librarians they can think collectively. They can have meeting first amongst the library professional and with the teaching faculty and with the team research. How we can, reduce the budget which we are spending in terms of collection of various key resources. One of the criteria you can apply is checking the usage statics of different databases. But one area where I think the libraries they can work upon is including the OER content. Now, in my university, now last year, Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, he wanted to have more subscription of e-resources, specifically e-books. So he has allocated 1 crore rupees just to have subscription of e-books in different subjects. In our university, we have 80 departments. So we have requested every faculty member or the chairperson to submit their requirement for subscription of e-books. Now, almost all the departments, they have submitted a demand for subscription of e-books. And once we have discussed this thing with the publisher, 1 crore is just like a peanut. Because if you want to subscribe these e-books from on behalf of all the 80 departments, university has to spend huge amount of money. So what I'm starting from this year is I have taken as a pilot project of 2 departments the books which they have recommended for their student and for their faculty members. So I have deputed one library professional and I just asked him to just try to find out whether these books are available in any OER repository or not. And I'm happy to share with you that randomly we have selected 2 departments. 80% of the books recommended by the faculty member, they are available in the open access repository. So now we are planning to submit a proposal where instead of having subscription of each and every book, we will go with only those publications which are not available in open access through OER. So this is another area where you can save your university money, or you can save the budget which you are spending on simply purchasing the e-books, and you can plan in a different way. The same amount you can utilize for purchasing of some other very innovative databases. Now again talking about the collection development policy. If you discuss with majority of publishers and vendors, now the vendors and publishers, they have fed up with selling their full text content. Now recently I just got the information about one of the product which is recently launched by the Elsevier. Now what they are doing, they are not selling their full text content. The product they have designed for the engineering student. Now what they are doing, suppose if any civil engineering student, he wanted to know what type of information published related to bridges in India or across the world, and is there any data available related to construction of bridges in India or around the world. They are giving such type of data, and how they are providing the data. So whatever research paper Elsevier they have published in through their science direct platform. So now they are doing the data mining. They are extracting the information which is available in the pictorial form, like for example in the form of tables, graph, and figure, and they have developed a customized database. And when I have arranged the demo of the product in our engineering department, the faculty member, they were very surprised, and they said that this is the product which we are looking for. Because now the faculty and the research scholar, they are not more interested in reading the full text article. They are now more interested in reading the data. So now in our collection development policy, if we can plan for such type of databases, specifically when it comes to such things, again it will help our faculty member and the research scholar because their information demanding changing day-to-day scenario. Now talking about another area where we can directly help our teaching faculty or we can directly contribute to our university is working with your research department. Now, I don't know how many participants you are from university or colleges. In the colleges, I think there is very limited scope where the librarians they can have a direct collaboration with the dean research office. Now, but specifically in the university system, the dean research they are providing or their activity is very similar, where we can help directly to them. For example, dean research the primary objective of any dean research office is to promote the research culture in any university or to provide various sort of financial assistance to your faculty member and the research scholar, where university is helping you in terms of getting some grants. Now, how librarians they can directly collaborate with the deep research offices. Now, for this only, I have submitted a proposal where university will provide the financial assistance to all those faculty members which have published their paper or which are in the process of publishing their paper, where the publisher is charging money in the form of APC. Right. So now, if you are having tie-up with some of the publishers, like for example, Elsevier, Oxford, or Miller Francis, and if your university have a direct, collaboration with these publishers. Now, if individually, if you see, if any faculty member they want to publish their article with Elsevier Open Access Journal, so they will charge, some $100 or $150 for one paper. But if your university have collaboration with these top publishers, so where it is free for the faculty member that if anyone from Punjab University you want to publish your research paper, they are providing a window where for 1 year subscription your faculty member can publish 100 papers. And one more thing, like it is not only about publishing your research paper in open access journal. You can have a different type of collaboration with these publishers. So this is an area where the library science people they can directly contact with the publisher and you can come up with the proposal where you can directly have a collaboration with the Dean Research Officer. So now we are in the process of having a tie-up with Cambridge University publication because majority of publications of Punjab University faculty member they have published in a Cambridge press journals. So all sort of things you can do with the help of the Scopus. You can always make aware your dean research or higher authorities. What is the publication trend? Which are the top publishers where we are publishing our research paper? And if we can have some collaboration where it is not only about that publisher is selling their content and we are having access to their content. We can develop this collaboration in some other level also. So these are some areas where we can work collaboratively with the publishers. And there are endless. It is totally up to you whether you want to sit in the library, you just want to provide the information services which we are doing for quite number of years, or you can develop your skill. You can always explore the areas where the librarians they can directly help the teaching and research department of your university. So once you will involve yourself in such type of activity, definitely it is going to increase the visibility not only as an individual but also as the library. Now there are many programs. Now if you read the IQSC guidelines carefully, now IQSC is giving very good marks if your university is organizing 30 hours value added courses. Right. So if you can collaborate with some department, library can collaborate with the philosophy department or any social science department, where you can collaboratively organize such type of value-added courses, where you will provide the information literacy at the same time. It is also going to help your university in terms of getting the marks for your NIRF or for various ranking agencies. So almost all the universities, their focus is to enhance the or to uplift their ranking. And if you read again the guidelines, one thing I just wanted to say briefly with all of you, there is a one area, it's called university perception. Now, during the last few years, Punjab University ranking has gone down from very good position to some positions which we never thought that Punjab University will slip down to this much ranking. So Vice Chancellor has constituted a committee and he said you just try to identify the area where we are not doing good as compared to our competitive university. So if you read this ranking methodology, university perception, it is having 25 or 30 marks, and we have scored only 3 marks out of 30. But Punjab University again is a brand all over the world. But if you discuss with these ranking agencies or if you read the guidelines, the perception is not only about publishing your research paper. Perception is about if you can put the information, how many faculty member or how many students they got placed in some good university, how many IAS or PCS officers university has produced. If any ranking agencies they wanted to see the employment history of Punjab University, it is not only that one department is keeping the data at the central level and they are telling the perception on the behalf of university. So now the policy is under consideration. We are making mandatory for each and every department that every year you have to upload the information about the student. How many students they cleared the NET examination? How many students from political science department they got selected in PCS or IAS? How many people they got job in industry or academic institution? Right. So again, this is not directly related to the library, but if you can read certain type of policies or the guidelines, and you can help your institution in terms of building some or developing some guidelines which can directly help the university, then definitely they are going to realize the importance of the library. So what I'm trying to say is we have a very good professional skills as far as librarianship is concerned, but we should not constrain ourselves within the library. Now it is a time, like in university system, we are having good number of staff. So we can create a team, we can develop a team, we can develop certain expertise among our team members, and then we have to send these team members to different departments, or directly the librarian they can sit together with the higher authority, and they can directly help the university in terms of making different type of policies, right? So there are many areas, and we all know that it is a changing scenario, and every year we are witnessing there is a changing scenario in library and librarianship. So librarians are always very, very fortunate that whatever technology is coming in the market, we are the first who are basically implemented. Whatever technology you say, if you talk about the artificial intelligence, if you talk about any new concept, librarians are always early adopters of the technology. So we are in this profession, we are very fortunate that we are always aware about these new technology, but these technologies are basically helping you in terms of providing collection and services in timely manner. But at the same time, we also have to think beyond the library, and then you can always contribute a lot to the university. So thank you very much for listening to me. Still, we are having few minutes, so if anybody wants to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
So we have a few questions posted on the chat box. First, I would like to read out the question posted on our YouTube channel. The question is, how do you respond to challenges and concerns about library resources?
Challenge which we are facing is every year the prices of various key resources are increasing. And generally, if you say there is a normal hike of 3 to 6%, and most of the university if you see their budget, they have not made a provision where there is an annual increase in their university library budget. So what is happening? Publishers' price is increasing day by day, and our budget is either it is standing as it is, or sometimes it is decreasing. So it is very difficult for the librarians that within this budget you have to subscribe good publishers platform, right? So this is the challenge I think most of the libraries they are facing. So one more thing here I would like to say that libraries they have never explored the possibility of getting funds from various funding agencies. We are always dependent upon our parent institution. That our parent institution is going to provide each and every financial support as far as library technology and services on collections are concerned. Now, one area I think this is again a point of discussion where why a library is a not profit making organization, why we are saying for so many years the library is a non for profit making purpose. Why when the department they are collaborating with the industries, why libraries they can't collaborate with the industry? There are many industries who are looking for the collaboration where the libraries they can provide a facility. Recently, I think in today also, Principal Secretary to Governor of Punjab, he visited the library. And the purpose is to get one room where the topmost scientists of the country they can work on a collaborative project. So I got call from the Vice Chancellor office that he is visiting library. Now he want to use the library facility. Now, similarly, if you can provide a space or very limited space to the industry's people, because industry they are also looking for environment and the resources which they can conserve. So we have to also work upon, we have to also explore the possibility where we can generate the fund. This is again a point of discussion, but with the approval with the higher authorities, if you can develop an environment where you can also raise the fund, you can provide a special membership to your bureaucrat or some senior industry people, and you can charge the money for accessing the library resources. So if your collection development policy is based on the sound principle, and at the same time also you are exploring the funding opportunities, definitely it is the answer to the question one of the participants asked.
So we also have some more questions in our chat box. I would like to read it to you. The question says most of the colleges don't want to purchase ebooks. They use free ebooks. Is it good for college library?
Ebooks, and later on once you will receive the fund, and you can also make the policy that what should be a right policy for subscription of ebook. The right policy is in the first phase you only purchase those books which are recommended by your faculty member in the syllabus. The second policy you can make is suppose if you are purchasing a multiple copy of the book in a physical medium. Now there is one book like Yaswant Kanikar की कोई book है. Now, majority of libraries, they are purchasing 10 or 12 copies of the same book. So instead of wasting the money in terms of purchasing 10 or 12 copies of a single book, you can buy that book in an online medium and you can provide access to number of your students. So for colleges, it is very difficult to have collection of e-books, but these are some of the ways which you can adopt. And once you will get fund from any funding or your college, then you can always plan to have subscription of e-books.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Also, there is a question. Is there a way to catalog and classify procured ebooks which should be renewed every year?
Purchasing e-book, you can also take the metadata from the publisher. Now, when me and Dr. Sanjay was in London for this Commonwealth Fellowship. There we have seen this practice that whatever e-books libraries are subscribing, the libraries they are directly importing the metadata from the publisher's website and they are integrating with the library management system. So there is no need to do cataloging individually for each and every book. So whatever book you are purchasing in the form of ebook, directly you can import the metadata from publisher's website. And you can again, it requires some technical skills that first you have to acquire, then you have to negotiate with the, you have to discuss it with the publisher.
The next question is, what are the methods we catalog faculty publications as and when they publish the paper in journals?
Publication, you can't do cataloging or any sort of indexing in your library management system because for this we need institutional repository, right? So if your university is having institutional repository, there you can do, you can assign the metadata for each and every publications so that it should be discoverable at your institutional level. So it is not a good practice to, index your faculty publications in the library management software. For this, we are already having independent data.
Thank you, sir. Also, there is a question: can't a library start a value-added course without collaboration?
If you are submitting the proposal to your higher authorities that this is the 5-day program, this is the 7-day program, which I wanted to conduct for the research project, you can make a very good proposal, submit to the higher authority. Once it is got the approval, you can plan that particular program. You can go ahead with such type of organizing such type of event with your library.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
There are no more questions, but still, if anyone would like to ask any question, you are welcome. If there are no questions, we can move on to the last part of our session. Yes, I think Dr. Rajiv Singh sir wants to speak something. Over to you, Dr. Rajiv Singh sir.
All request with the experts. Will it be possible, sir, any plagiarism tool may provided for the research scholar?
Yes, sir. UGC is already providing the access of the anti-plagiarism software to all the higher educational institutions. Like for university, it's a free access. For colleges, you can simply, your librarian can explore all the possibilities where you can write an email to the internet people and then they will respond to your query. So Utkund is a software. There is another software is called Turnitin. It's a subscription-based software. So then directly you have to purchase. There are many open source are also available, but I think if you can write to the internet people in terms of providing access to Utkund software, that will solve the problem.
So will it be possible that is there any specific email ID on which the experts can or the librarian can send the mail?
Yeah, there is I think this facility is already given in the internet website. The source the government source of the initiative. So there your librarian can visit and then see the possibility.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's quite valuable information for all. Thank you so much, sir.
The session has been very interesting. As a listener, I'm quite happy. All the time, I was completely attached to these sessions. Thank you to both our guest speakers for making the session so interesting. Now let us move to the next part of the seminar. The last part of the seminar, let's move towards our valedictory function. I would like to take this opportunity to present this seminar summary report. As an information seeker, I too am among the regular users of library facility and I definitely understand the electronic scenario of 21st century, which has brought a lot of changes to the library's functioning environment and procurement of information resources. I think that in turn resumes the implementation of new strategies. Sir, you have rightly enlightened us with the role of not just libraries but a librarian to and how librarians contribute to learning. Dr. Sanjay Kataria sir has thrown light on various important points like different kinds of learning, library space and management, a smart library, research support services, etc. And Dr. Neeraj Kumar Singh has highlighted topics such as research support services and headwisdom, digital repository services, how to promote and making a research visible to academic community, digital data access, financial management on digital data, etc. I personally believe that we have all definitely gained a lot from both our guest experts. This webinar brought many solutions to questions which might have been raised in the minds of people. I believe that this seminar would make a significant impact on the next generation professionals. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call upon the organizing secretary for today's national seminar, Dr. Ruchi Sinha ma'am, the head librarian, SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Silvassa, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sudan ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sanjay sir. Thank you, Priya sir. Um, Same here experience in like Sudan ma'am. I, Dr. Ruchisina, feeling honored to have been given a chance to propose a vote of thanks to this program. I first convey my gratitude to our management of SR Memorial Trust for their old heart supported. I now extend my sincere regards to our guest speaker for the seminar, Dr. Sanjay sir. University Librarian Management and Dr. Neeraj Kumar Singh, University Library, Punjab. They have really been very kind of really accepting our invitation and raising the occasion with their presence. I acknowledge the effort put in by our esteemed resource person for highlighting the participants with your remarks and explaining the so very complex concept of library science in an easy to understand way. Again, thank you, sir. I also thank our principal, Dr. Rajesh sir, and vice principal, Dr. Aluna Sharma ma'am, for guiding us through all thick and thin. A special thanks to the organized committee and the technical team of the SR College of Arts, Commerce and Science for their support and coordination. My sincere thanks also to all the participants for their active presence and patient listening. With this note, we move towards the end of today's seminar. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to.
Thank you so much. Thank you, experts, and thank you, participants.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now I would like to request everyone gathered here virtually to kindly join in singing the national anthem. Kindly join us.
Thank you, Sanjay and Neeraj sir. आप लोग अपने कीमती टाइम में से हमारे लिए समय निकाला था। थैंक यू। बहुत अच्छा आप लोगों ने।
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
One request था आप please share your PPT. Please, sir.
Sure, I will send you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Telegram मध्ये फीडबॅक पण टाकायचा.
ते टाकून द्या.
Now the participants are requested to leave the
सेशन.
meet.
फीडबॅक मला पाठवा ना.
माझ्याकडे कुठे तिथंच असेल.
हां ठीक आहे, चला आहे माझ्याकडे यूट्यूब मध्ये आहे.
चलो हो गया आपका.
थैंक यू माय टेक्निकल टीम. मैंने अंजलि को मैसेज किया था नाश्ता मंगवाने के लिए.
नहीं आज नहीं, कल करेंगे.
कल
प्रिंसिपल सर के केबिन में बुला.
कल
उधर ही करेंगे.
जो आपने आप लोग पहले मुझे बता दो यार, मेरा भी फास्ट है यार भाई.
हाँ तो
नहीं कल खाली है.
कल आप प्रिंसिपल सर के साथ.
मेरा सारा काम मिल रहा था, बस फीडबैक दे तो सारा.
अभी यहाँ पे स्ट्रीमिंग खत्म नहीं हुआ.
मेरा कॉफी पी रहे हो.
मैंने नहीं किया था, मैंने देखा था थोड़ा सा.
प्रिंसिपल मेरे को तो मिला
नहीं मुझे पहले नहीं लगा, बाद में समझ आया.
नहीं मैम ने सामने से